What is going on, guys? Predator45H here, and welcome back to my channel, and welcome back to World of Warships, where today we're going to be taking a look at a replay submitted by Stuff Rules, who we've seen a few times on my channel. He submitted quite a few replays in the past. But anyways, today's replay, he is taking out the Tier 6 American cruiser, the awesome, amazing, wonderful Cleveland. And he is on the Two Brothers map. Now, this replay is from 0.52. This is not from the new patch just yet. I actually haven't had a chance to try out 0.53 just yet, because I still have a few replays from the previous patch that I need to record before updating. But that is done as of tonight when I'm recording this video on Sunday night. So I will update World of Warships tomorrow or overnight tonight, and maybe on Wednesday I'll see if I can maybe bring you a video with my own thoughts on 0.5.3 or 0.53, whatever it's called. But anyway, so we are heading up the right hand flank of the map. You can see first enemy contact has been spotted over on the other side. It is a cruiser of some form, and Stuff Rules is moving in not too aggressively. He's not heading straight at the enemy or at the enemy's probable location where they'll pop out, but this Omaha is, and yeah, things aren't going to go well for the Omaha. I have watched most of this replay before recording this, and I do have to say it's a pretty fantastic game, with the exception of something at the very end, which we'll get to when that happens. But anyways, now Stuff Rules is sending messages to Eduardo Lima in the Omaha, telling him that he must back up. He's just suiciding if he travels like that. And the Omaha's opened fire on a New York, and a couple of planes flying around, some dive bombers. There's another New York, some torpedo bombers. You can see carrier heavy map, or match, should I say, 2 carriers on each team. So there's going to be a lot of planes. And that's something that the Cleveland obviously does quite well in those situations. And their Stuff Rule says that he's pretty sure that this Omaha is a bot. Possible he might be. And start taking his first shots of the match at the New York. And quite a few enemy ships about. 2 New Yorks, a destroyer, Cleveland not far behind them. And first shots go in, 5 hits, sets him on fire. And you can see Stuff Rules has definitely been playing his Cleveland recently, because when there's another fire on the New York, we all know that towards the max range of this ship's guns, the shell travel time is so very long. It takes such a long time for the shells to get there. Makes leading targets at, I'd say anything 13 kilometers and more makes leading targets a little bit difficult. But when you get into the swing of things with your Cleveland, when you're used to the lead, it's obviously an amazing ship to use. But if you haven't played it in a while, it can sometimes be tricky to get the feel back for the guns. But anyways, Eduardo is dead, and another teammate, Pork Chop Express, I quite like that name, says he might just have been an idiot. And I agree. You never know. Never underestimate the stupidity that you will run into in these free-to-play games. But it's possible he was a bot. Who knows? But anyways, more fire going in on this New York. He's also taken a torpedo. Stuff Rules has set him on fire again, so it looks like this New York is burning in 3 places. So he's done a very good job of spreading the HE fire around, because all too often people get their lead with a cruiser like the Cleveland, and they fire HE and they hit, and they just keep firing at the same spot, which obviously doesn't help you set any additional fires. So he's gotten his first kill, finished off the New York, and now he's moving in. Cleveland at 15.5, Pethwood. And Stuff Rules actually goes and reports that guy. But anyways, things are not going terribly well for his team. They've only destroyed the enemy battleship, while they have lost a cruiser and 2 destroyers. So the enemy team right now is leading by roughly 130 points. Torpedo bomber spotted briefly at like 30 kilometers, so presumably the carrier is somewhere around there. And Stuff Rules are now moving in fairly aggressively towards the enemy cap, taking some very optimistic shots at this Cleveland. You know, you can't see him, and Cleveland is maneuvering, so absolutely no chance of a hit there. The team has just lost another cruiser, but they have destroyed a destroyer. So, you know, it's not going well so far. But there's the Cleveland again, very briefly. Just waiting, and there we got another New York. And there's the Cleveland. So I think he's going to take the lead and fire at the Cleveland. Just turning to get all guns on target. Shots are going in at some point in the distant future, and there they come. And unfortunately, no hits, and he's slowing down and speeding up and turning. So both of these Clevelands are actually doing a fairly good job of evading each other's fire. Getting to within 10 kilometers now, and this is where the Cleveland, in my opinion, starts to become exceptionally dangerous, because travel time on the shells isn't as long anymore. Some good hits there, and it becomes a lot more difficult to dodge incoming fire. But over 10 kilometers is generally a little bit easier. So he's taken some fairly decent damage, 10,000 odd. He was set on fire and he's just put it out. Enemy Omaha 10.2 as well. And his team, I mean, if you look at the minimap, they haven't really pushed up on this flank much with Stuff Rules. There is one cruiser quite close to him, and then the battleship and another cruiser are lagging behind. I mean, the battleship you can understand, but you know, with Stuff Rules pushing up this far with and running into such little resistance, you'd think that his teammates would push up a bit quicker. But anyways, they'll get you when they get you. Some more hits on that New York, minor damage, and the New York is now turning away. Cleveland at less than 10 kilometers again, burning in 2-3 locations. Stuff Rules switches targets and starts putting some fire down the Cleveland's way. Sets the New York on fire, shots in, and he finishes off the enemy Cleveland. So now it's just this New York, and I imagine right about now he's focusing up some of these planes. Replays don't tend to show them, so we can't see exactly what he's doing. He has used his defensive AA perk, and I think his catapult fighter is in the air. So his Cleveland will be going to work on these enemy aircraft. And I mean, he shoots down 2, but you know, I think a lot of those were returning back to their mothership. So Anshan 9.3, but unfortunately it is behind the island, heading towards Pork Chop Express. So looks like he gets the honor of dealing with the little destroyer. New York is within range and heading this way, so he's going to fire off his front guns and turn the ship to get his rear guns on target. And he's just going to keep pounding away. New York has started to turn away, so some of his shells will probably miss. He has set him on fire already. And you can see, I mean, even a battleship's got time to evade these shells. Here comes the Anshan. He's going to fire his guns as they are ready. Sort of sequentially fire the turrets almost. Manages a few hits. I'm not sure if that was on the Anshan or the New York. And will these finish off the little destroyer? Yes. There we go. So that's his 3rd kill of the match already. And amazingly, his team is still behind. They've now lost a battleship as well. Enemy team, 2 destroyers, cruiser, and a battleship. But they are 70, 80 points in front. Torpedo bomber is coming in, and he doesn't have any of his abilities right now. I think he's probably focused them up. And 2 down, 3 down. So that would have been really unfortunate if those torpedoes had managed to drop, because he wouldn't really have anywhere to turn unless he just went for a tactical beaching. New York at 6.7. This is when you kind of really wish American cruisers had torpedo tubes. Or something like the Cleveland. If it had torpedo tubes, that would be great, but obviously it doesn't, so we just got to deal with this New York the old-fashioned way. And that is beating it into submission with high explosive. Dive bombers coming in, they missed. And we finish them off. The salvo, no, unfortunately, Marine Q4 got that kill. I'm not sure who Marine Q4 is. Pensacola, it looks like. But anyways, Omaha at 10.1 kilometers. Now, Cleveland versus Omaha, it really depends on the range of the engagement, as I said. If it is at 13, 14 kilometers, the Cleveland's going to have a much more difficult time hitting the Omaha than the Omaha will have of hitting the Cleveland. But at ranges like this, it's no contest really. The Cleveland will just absolutely destroy an Omaha. Right here, he should have switched to AP, in my opinion, because he would have citadeled the living hell out of this Omaha at this range, and this fight would have been over a lot sooner, which would have been a good thing, because if you look at the mini-map, Stuff Rules has just walked into the Cleveland's wet dream. He has one enemy aircraft carrier behind him who is trying to make an escape into the strait, and the other one is on his port side. There we go, the Ryujo at also very close range. But unfortunately, he has to deal with this Omaha before he can deal with the carriers, or at least he's decided to deal with the Omaha before he can deal with the carriers. Here come the Omaha's torpedoes, but they run out of range just in time. There we go, that's the kill on that Omaha. Had I been in this situation, I think Stuff Rules definitely did the right thing, focusing on the Omaha, but a lot of players sort of tunnel vision in on carriers when they see them, especially at close range like this, and I think I might have done the same. But anyways, so the Ranger was trying to make a run into the strait, but it ran aground. Guessing the player was just using the mini-map controls or something, and now it is reversing to try and get away, but gets 3 citadels there. And there we go. Close quarters expert, Kraken, unleashed, and that is his 5th kill of the match. Here comes some dive bombers from the Ryujo. Fortunately, it sets him on fire in 2 places, and he's on less than 10,000 hit points. So this is not looking terribly good. And this is where his mistake is going to happen. As you can see, he's got 10 seconds left on his damage control team. 10 seconds until he can put the fire out. It's now 3, 2, 1, 0. He can put the fire out now. But he holds, and he might be holding in case this dive bomber squadron sets him on fire. But unfortunately, he is not going to last long enough. Now, I'm not sure, as I said, if he was holding for that other dive bomber squadron, or if just in the heat of battle he didn't notice his damage control team was ready as early as it was. We've all done that, but unfortunately it does cost him his life. But in the end, it is still a victory for his team and a pretty fun little match to watch. He earned himself 256,400 credits, 2,500 experience. Close quarters expert, Kraken unleashed, 166 target hits, 18 planes shot down, 5 incapacitations, 5 kills, 11 fires, and 3 citadels. And made some progress, presumably, towards Kaiju Hunter and the Miyoko missions. He came first place on his team with a base XP of 2,053, whereas Porkchop was in second with base XP of 1,319, and that Ranger was top on the enemy team with 968 base XP. As for damage done, 82,000 high explosive damage and 35,400 from fires, which gives him a very respectable total of 117,446 damage done. So, Stuff Rules, thank you very much for sending in this replay. I certainly enjoyed watching it, and I hope you guys did too. But that is it for this video. If you enjoyed, please feel free to hit the thumbs up button down below, and consider subscribing for more World of Warships, Armored Warfare, and a few other things that I throw into the mix from time to time. But as I said, that is it from me. Thank you very much for stopping by. This is Predator458 signing off, and I will see you guys next time.